So things change quickly. Jason Hunt stopped by. He checks on you, to make sure everything's okay. Just before dark, I told him my issues I was having with the finding the rocks and the flint and that kind of thing. So he gave me a hand with it. We had a lot of issues going on with it, but end result is fire. No idea what time it is. It's probably 3 hours after dark. He stayed with me that whole time as we were working through difficulties. While I was in the creek hunting for a piece of quartz, I did catch a small frog. Tomorrow's deliverables are find 3 ounces of meat, food source. So the frog's halfway there, or over halfway there probably. We were digging up, I found a worm, I ate the worm. I'll do another one on video in the daylight just to get the full effect of this whole thing. And also to build a projectile hunting weapon. So we can do a slingshot, bow, crossbow, something like that. So, I got a few ideas. We'll see how it goes. He is not coming back until tomorrow evening, and I only have half a battery. So I will probably be real intermittent with the rest of these videos until I get fresh batteries back. But it was worth turning it on to show you the fire. It's cool, and I'm warm, so that's a good combo. Here's the frog. He's about 3 inches long. A point of this is there he is, about 3 inches long. Your survival knife better be able to skin and gut and dress mice and frogs and little tiny things, small birds. You don't need to be carrying something you can chop a tree down with. That's why kind of the 5-inch blade fits in so well. It's small enough for the delicate work, but you can baton through anything that you would normally encounter, without any real issues. I'm gonna cook this guy up, and then I'll turn the camera back on when I'm eating it. Alright, so what a difference a day makes. Yesterday I was dropped off late, and was only able to take a few steps. No blanket, no flashlight, no nothing. A few steps off the trail that I was dropped off on, I had to lay down and bed down for the night cold. Tonight, thank God I got a fire now. Got food. Here's the frog all cooked up, and also I got a whole bunch of wild onions. I've got my cup on the stove, in the fire, backed off the main heat, and I'm kind of simmering a stew, or actually it's like an onion soup is what I'm gauging for here. I've got enough onions to get me through the rest of the trip. Also, I'm boiling my water now, so that minimizes my risk of pathogens. So here's frog leg. That was almost like a calf. Here's the main meat of the legs. They're not too bad. I actually like frog anyway, but I usually have it breaded. Yeah, little guys like this, the bones are soft anyway. There's not much meat. That's appreciated. That piece was charred a little bit, so it's very well, it reminds me of normal grilled food. Oh, that was good. I wouldn't mind a 5-gallon bucket load of those things right now. Let's see if my water's cool enough to drink. No, it's still pretty warm. I'm gonna let that sit here and cool. And I'm gonna stir my onion soup. So as long as I'm able to keep the fire going all night, you know, I'm golden now. This is a game changer. That's why fire's so important. That's why fire skills are so critical. So I'm all tucked in, all wooled up, anticipating the sunrise, which is probably about 11 hours away. But I thought I'd show you what's going on tonight. Got water in to boil. And yesterday I took the wild onions and I made like a soup with them, and it was not good. So originally I was going to roast them. I had them all here on a hot rock, which that's hot, but not ridiculously hot. When I went to get water, I took my cup and I scooped into the bottle. So I pulled that out, and that sucker was sizzling hot, so I figured I'd use that like a griddle. And I put a couple onions up there. That didn't seem to really be hot enough to work that well. But because I've got the green tails of these onions, I can hang them over the edge. And I'm keeping the fire down right now, just till I'm done cooking these. So I'm not real sure. That one's got a little bit of char on it. That's not dirt. Not that it would matter. But it's just nice to have something hot. That's not bad. I'm sure finding the cook time is the key. But it kind of tastes like the onion out of a cast iron skillet. That's probably better. Except I can't see now. So they soften a little bit, but I kind of like them just a little bit darker. There we go. I mean, they're edible raw, so it doesn't really... It's not a big game changer to if it's undercooked. That was one of the larger ones. And that one wasn't quite done yet. But I thought I'd show you what I'm doing. Chilling out. Like I said, I got the fire down low right now. Over here, I've got quick access to fire, the bigger firewood that's still just off the mat, so I can, get it in the middle of the night without tromping around. And then on this side, I've got smalls all down that hill, and then around the edge, there's like forearm to wrist size pieces. Those aren't as accessible right now. I think I'm going to move some closer. This big monster log here, I really got my doubts this thing's going to burn. But if I could get this thing to burn, I'm in like Flynn. So I thought I'd try it. And also from last night, I added some rocks because I was getting roll down. I would get a couple small pieces rolled down on me. So I added rocks to the front and I extended it. That's about 36 inches. So I should get some warmth down towards my feet. It'd be ideal, obviously, to have a full length, long fire. But it's just not in the cards. Not in this situation where I have the camp set up. I just don't have room for it. Alright, so water's almost done. I don't know if I'm going to get any sleep this early or not. But the cold hasn't really set in yet. I sat down, got a fire going. It was just dusk, or just after dusk actually. Finishing the water that I had in my bottle. And you could just feel the cold just start creeping in on you. So I went ahead and put my sweater on and my anorak. I've still got my wool blanket up top. I haven't used that yet. I've got this limb that runs through my shelter. There it is. I got my knife hanging there. I can hang my glasses in my ferro rod loop, which I kind of wish I had me a ferro rod, but I got a fire, so I'm not concerned with it anymore. And also I can dry stuff. I'll throw my socks over there during the day. But everything's hung up out of the way so I can find it approximately. I approximately know where it is. I've got my camera gear. I don't know if it'll show that or not. Camera gear, I've got my axe and my saw over there, all set, ready to use. On top of here, I've got my rain gear and my wool blanket. And there's my hat and my haversack. So I'm just sure, especially when it's dark like this, everything goes away. I've got the lid to my bottle in my haversack, because realistically, as soon as I make it, it cools and I drink it, and I don't want to put the lid on hot. It's got that gasket in there. So that's it. Hanging out, roasting onions, drinking creek water, and survivaling. Alright, so I got my worm. I did this before. My deliverable is covered, but I didn't film it. It was at night. So this is my one and only Bear Grylls moment. It tastes like you think a worm would taste. That is bait. Extra gritty. Unless you broke your leg and are crawling around on the ground and cannot get up, cannot move, in a long-term situation, say somebody's coming to rescue you, but it's been 2 weeks, I can't see doing that. I mean, how much calories did I just gain in a worm? Now that frog the other day on a fire, that's food. That tasted good. I enjoyed it. The worm is not good. Not good at all. Again, I understand that it is calories, and I understand that it is achievable to do, and it's edible, and blah, 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 all the other stuff. But if it was me, I wouldn't be out here eating worms.